So does anyone want to go first, or?
Are you recording?
I'm looking at the Maslow hierarchy of human needs. I don't see how the Shannon-Weaver model even comes in to discussing any kind of human needs at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because we're supposed to compare and contrast them, and I guess they're both similar in that they talk about like human communication in a way, but they're I think the Shannon Weaver model is more like, I guess, how people communicate directly with each other, whereas the pyramid here, it's something closer to like individual needs of people, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. That the pyramid is for the individual needs for people, and the more of the individual needs that they get, well, and then the love and belonging needs, that's how you keep people in line, because you, just like they did during COVID, they tell you that they're going to ostracize you from society if you don't do what they want you to do. And I think that the Shannon model is just the information source, transmitter, channel, receiver, and destination. And then the fact that there's noise on both ends that distract you.
Yeah, when I was reading it, well, the question itself for discussion 2 was compare and contrast the Maslow hierarchy of human needs with the Shannon-Weaver model, and which best describes how people prioritize their needs. And so for me, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at it more as kind of like a broad approach. So, for example, like the Maslow one, that one is definitely focused on the human aspect of providing needs. They both reveal important insights of how people interact. But I think the Maslow is more like grounded in the psychology aspects of communication, and it's just like I said again. I think it aims at satisfying those human needs, whereas we look at the other one, at the Shannon Weaver one, and that one is more kind of like a scientific approach, kind of a colder approach, focusing on like a framework made up of like transmitting information, and I think that pretty much kind of answers the question that it was proposed to us, which is which one, prioritizes the human needs of humanity. So for me, I think Maslow definitely meets the criteria for that.
You see,
I do too.
I think,
the.
I was going to say, I think that the Shannon Weaver model, I think it, like you said, is like a more primitive, but it still like captures the pure need to communicate almost. That is at the base of all of these needs represented in the Maslow, like just getting this information, whether it is getting information that I'm hungry or getting information that I don't feel secure enough, going all the way up. I think that the Shannon Weaver model almost breaks down the individual, like, I don't know the word, like conversations that happen. Whereas the Shannon Weaver breaks that down, and the Maslow is the encompassing of here's what humans need. And the Shannon Weaver, I think, is more not in depth, but it's more specific as to here's how we can reach the destination from what information we have.
Do you think the Shannon Weaver model is more for like mass media and how they can try to get their message across to you and get it through the noise and make you decide, oh yeah, that's one of my needs or something like that?
From what I read, part of the Shannon Weaver model came from telephone communication, just getting in clearly just this person has something to say, we need to get it to the other person without them hearing the other lines, or there's like these beeps that happen in telephones. And I think it gets applied to human need because the need to communicate on a telephone is just as carnal as the need to communicate in person, the same way we're communicating over telecommunication now.
Yeah, like.
The Shannon Weaver model isn't just talking about communicating over a telephone. It's talking about like the internet, the TV, the mass media and stuff also.
Yeah. I think just when it was created back, I think it was, I did a little, I just pulled up a little side thing, and it was like 1948 around where it was created. And then, like, at that point, it was newspapers and telephone that they were looking at. But it only, as the internet grows wider, everything involving that model only grows wider.
Yeah, because everything else becomes one of the channels that you communicate over. And some of them you directly communicate, but like with the TV, you don't directly communicate. They communicate with you, and they try to find psychological ways to get you to accept their message.
Yeah, the routes to persuasion.
Or propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
there's the peripheral route to persuasion, which is through propaganda and things like that. And then there's the central route, which is just having a conversation about the topic. And that's where so much of mass media lies, is in the peripheral route, where it's here's an object, here's an advertisement, here's a celebrity saying that they endorse this or that or whatever. And it's that, like, oh, maybe we'll appeal to some people, not because our message is good, but because we have somebody cool saying it, And I think that is more following the Shannon Weaver model of just, here's our information, you pick your transmitter. And I think that it's more of the peripheral route, whereas if you look at Maslow's, like, it's just talking about what do we need? Let's look at the message involved. Let's break that down.
Yeah, I kind of summarized it as like the Shannon Weaver is more so how we communicate, while the Maslow is how like communication affects us and how like what we need from it. But in general, I think like both models are important within the study of communication and like how it happens and then how it affects people in general. But definitely, like, to answer like the proposition question, the Marshall hierarchy of human needs, like, more so is for like us.
Yeah, I don't know how long we're at. Yeah.
And the Maslow hierarchy is pretty much where you're looking at the message and what it's giving you, what needs it's giving you, instead of like the Shannon Weaver model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that was a pretty good discussion. I think we hit all the topics and hit the question on the head, and I think it was very insightful. So sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. That was good. Yeah.
All right, cool, guys. Thank you.
He's an angry cat. Oh, she's angry.